Hello, people. This is Jeff Key. It's the end of the year. Not only that, it's the end of the decade. And I thought I'd run it by. You know, say where I've been each year. Say what's happened in my life each year, so you guys can have a bit of a backstory and we can have another list. A top 10 list, basically, of things of what each year has been like. And actually, I don't know if I'll get too many people to see this, I usually don't, but if you see this, I would encourage you to make a video about each one of the last 10 years of your life. Let me know where you've been. I am fucking tired. I usually am when I get on here. But, 2000, I was going to my parents' church, which at that time was in Dallas, Texas. It was a place called Valwood Park Baptist Church. And that was fucking horrible. I'd been going there since I was 13? No, 12. About 12 and a half. That year, this one girl started hanging around my best friend. And I really wasn't around him too much that year. Which made what happened in 2001 a lot easier for me, in hindsight. 2001, I left that crappy church, left my best friend at the time, and I moved from Dallas, Texas to Sacramento, California. Once again, I went to another church. Growing up, I always did go to churches, but at least that church, which was Fair Oaks, is what I called it, treated young people with a little more respect. Treated teenagers like they were about to become adults, which they are. Which they were. You know. I met someone who I described as a military punk. Became good friends with him. Till family dramas got in the way. Moved in with my brother, which was awkward, to say the least. This was when I was 17. Now, my 18th birthday in 2010, my dad had quadruple bypass surgery. And I remember my mother just crying on my shoulder. Just so afraid that something would happen to him. And I remember me having to be the strong one to suck it up. You know. And that's the most memorable thing about when I was 18. Except for later on in the year, about 6 months later, I went to community college at American River Junior College, community college, whatever you want to call it. And it was alright. I mostly got D, F's, and W's. W standing for withdrawals. I didn't try that hard, but I met two people there though that were pretty cool. I met a lesbian who, in all honesty, I really wish to hell was straight. Not because I have any problem with lesbians at all, just because I thought she was hot as hell. I thought she was cool shit. And I still do. Really, really cool, really good person. Named, well, I won't tell you her name. But really cool person. And, met another guy who was a Gnostic. It's the year I found out about Gnostic Christianity, which I've always preferred over Orthodox. Of course, what I find interesting about Christianity is that when it was first started, there was no Orthodox. All the branches thought they were the Orthodox, and all the branches, for the most part, were willing to kill the other branches of the church. It's rather amusing, actually. 19, I left California. Moved to a really crappy, shitty-ass town in North Carolina called Asheboro. Oh, Asheboro. I always call it Asheboro. It's a very interesting little town. You had, really hardcore Christians. Then you had Satanists. My girlfriend was one. And you had, crack whore, a known crack whore. You had a transvestite, and this was all in this one small town. All the buildings in this place were boarded up, practically. I mean, to me, I always thought of it as post-apocalyptic America. I got a few snapshots of the place, but I ended up moving there. My dad was talked into moving down there. And my family stayed with this other family that we had known in California. Well, they decided they didn't like my heathen, godless ways. I guess they found the pornography I'd looked at, which really was nothing major. It was just a striptease. That's usually what I go for. But they found that. They heard me talking to myself and saw me kind of thinking about things out loud. You know, I've not spent a lot of time around people. I like to communicate my ideas, but I don't really care if I communicate them to actual people. I just like to hear myself talk. So, people think I'm crazy. But, yeah, with those two combinations, they kicked me out. So, going along with the folks from California to North Carolina, my ass got thrown out in the street, basically. I ended up living in hotels for the next couple of months, which wasn't too bad. I didn't have anyone else around. It was kind of nice, actually. And some major events for 19, except that's the year that I got my first job working in a factory that made elastic for underpants. 20? 20 was the year I met this gothic redhead chick, who I thought was the most awesome woman I'd ever met in my life. Needless to say, she broke my heart and shattered my brain. I don't think I even needed to say that. I think it was probably pretty obvious. Before that, I really hadn't done anything with anyone, you know? So, it was like, she was the first kiss, first make-out session, first sex, first everything. And when that relationship came to an end, I did everything I could to hold it together. And hello